The Enlightenment CHASERS. The escalation of a pressure point, seeking for the shout of freedom. Free at last! Free at last! Are we ever going to reach the end of the search of the ultimate? Like drawing water from the well, we find ourselves conflicting each other while conflicting self. The pondering state of the mind, seeking for perfect peace of our being, humanity. Humanity, the cry of humanity today, of every point of view, yet its center, perfect peace. It seeks perfect peace. It seeks today, May 22nd of 2024, I bring to us very irrelevant information concerning a human race in a struggle, a human race going through a struggle. How do we solve our weaknesses? On Monday, May 20th of 2024, was Cameroon Independent Day. Cameroon's Independent Day. A day of great celebration. Surprised me with bitter response. Awakening me of a problem we have, unable to solve the core, but only enabling the palliative care of the surrounding, never solving the core, but only enabling the palliative care of the surrounding. Cameroon has been going through a conflict for a while now. The seeking for a division between the English and the French, which I must speak of today through the eyes of humanity, and not only of the soil of Cameroon. Yes, I am a Cameroonian of birth, proud of my forefathers before labeled an American, I must accept a dual citizenship with pride. Must I address the situation going on in Cameroon today? Out of a pure heart of humanity, I must speak on the behalf of the children, the tender of age. I must stand for today. Separation is not the solution. Cameroon, a country of itself, is not the problem, but of our reasoning. On celebrating 20th May, acknowledging Cameroon's 52 years of being a united nation of both French and English. Few individuals I called were celebrating, but some were not, desiring a separation of this beautiful Cameroon. How do we part from Cameroon and become another? Many countries have parted from each other, but of this 21st century, how can we still be parting when we have so much of intelligence in our hands? I tried going through the constitution. I tried going through Cameroon's constitution, understanding that we do have the power of the people, but yet the power I understand is of the economy. The power of the people is of the economy, the power of the economy. The Constitution says it is proud of its linguistic and cultural diversity and enriching future of the nation's identity, which is, to my understanding, shadowed by the complication of its economy, the struggle of its economy. It's affecting the pride of its linguistic and cultural diversity in existence. Though they are aware of the need to solidify their unity, but find it difficult because of the obstacle of the economy. a struggle with the economy of Cameroon. Cameroon is built on the basis of common interest, justice, and progress, acknowledging the salvation of Africa that lies in the growing bonds of solidarity among African people. Seeking freedom, a people of freedom seeking. The cradle of our fathers, the cradle of our forefathers, today endangered by reason of the people of present days. Should have been of better enlightenment than of yesterday, but rather going into deep darkness is the experience I'm bringing out today. When we sing, their sweat and blood, the soil did water. To enable light of unity, the enforcement of this unity by their blood and sweat, the soil did water. A peace treaty enabled through blood and sweat should be of much brighter light of us today. How then are we going back to blood and sweat? Was it not enough sacrifice for us to be one? That if we have to separate today, is it really worth a gift before our forefathers? Is it really worth a gift before our forefathers of their hard work given to us? Are we going to bring it to them back in pieces? When a father sends his child out to become a better person, the father expects the child to return home of greater mind and of better build, not to destroy the land. I did listen to some beautiful songs of Cameroon culture, and of the bottle dance. I reflect today. The denial of a child to return home and destroy what the father has built. It is not acceptable to destroy what the father has built, but rather fashion it, beautify it, make it even brighter. If it is not a weapon of destruction. Why should we break it into pieces? Was Cameroon a weapon of destruction? Or is it how we handle it? A miniature of Africa we've called Cameroon. The only bilingual country in relation to Canada I had known growing up, a child. The division of this beautiful country, even of its map, shaped into a form of a woman, of a mother. You will call it a mother nature, a fatherland, yet a mother nature. What does this land not give us of being one? What is lacking of a mentality of being that is causing this division? What is the discrimination between the people? Our motto, according to the Article 1, number 4, is peace, work, fatherland. Article 1, number 2, says we are a decentralized unitary state, one indivisible. Dedicated to social service, respecting human laws. Who make the human laws? Us, the people. Article 1, number 3. Our official language is English and French, of same status. But we understand of section, the English is smaller and the French is greater. Compromise. Compromise is very, very important when it comes to the people. How do we grow our economy without compromise, without reasoning, without understanding, without greater enlightenment? This is why we have higher education, for us to be able to reflect of higher minds. English and French, same status, but of population, French is greater than of the English section. Act, Article chapter 2, Article 2, number 2, says the authorities are responsible for the management of the state. Derived from the power of the people. The state derives its power from the people. The authority are responsible of the management of the state, and their power derived from the people through election, directly or indirectly. I'm trying to make a point of this first video for us to be able to sit and reflect. And we will get back continuously understanding what point I'm trying to make of addition to all that we have. For there are greater minds out there. of understanding. We've gone through politics. I might be new into politics. I might be new into politics and understanding the history of my beloved origin, but not late to have a helping hand into the growing of a better Cameroon. Let me cry my cry before any decision is made of the country. That I stand for a unity. As I stand for our one that will be. I stand for the sweat and blood of our forefathers. Before we take a decision, let it not be out of anger. Let it not be out of frustration, but of the right. Understanding that being true does not mean it's right. Yes, it might be true, but it does not mean it's right. Not every truth is right. We stand for the right and not just the truth alone. Let us sit and reflect. Even an answer can come from the least of us. Might not be the complete answer, but a trigger that can enable an outstanding of us. Considering the American Constitution that had to be established twice. The first time it failed of not respecting the central of governing power, giving more power to the people than to the central. The second constitution gave power to the central, reducing power from the people, and was established with two houses, the legislative and the Congress, and the federal government having three branches, the legislative, executive, and judicial, yet of two houses. Understanding some states had lesser population compared to others. There should be compromise. Compromise. It's not about how long the president has been the president, but rather compromise, rather enabling a constitution. It's not about the president. It's about the constitution. If we can take the advantage of the president being now and fix the constitution, the better. If we have to start with a fresh president, it will not be that easy. Not trying to prolong the president, the current president being president, but being able to enable a constitution with compromise of expected, with additional forces that can enable a fresh start. We are of educated people. We are a human race. Not even by color are we complaining. We are a black race struggling like people of racial differences. There must be a disruption of the mind that we must correct. Compromise. We need people of higher education who can sit down and really put down some worthy information that can trigger a fresh start. Hopefully, we get to talk more on this. This is just the cry. This is just the cry that I must be able to enable today after few phone calls on 20th May, waking me to a saddened Cameroon, no more like it was, but even worse than it was. We are not blind. We are not deaf. We are not dumb. We are a human race. Cannot be divided by our disabilities or diverse complications, but rather resolving by holding on to our common peace. Economy should not be a problem if we are of sound reason. It's time for greater enlightenment. Enlightenment chasers. I close today pleading for an ear, pleading for listening ears. A woman is the backbone of every constitution, of every building. The little I bring out, I pray we are able to walk out of better. A building and not falling apart. Integrity and not despair. Thank you for listening. Marist Free reporting.